Mr. Chairman, if you permit me, I will just read Article 1251. Justice emanates from the people and shall be administered in the name of the Republic by the judiciary, which shall be independent and subject only to this Constitution. End quote. Honorable nominee, in this Constitution, to ensure that the judiciary is indeed independent, if so, why? If you can give me 2 or 3 provisions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When we have 3 aspects: the judicial aspect, the financial and administrative aspects of the judiciary. When it comes to judiciary, yes, we are independent. Administrative, yes, we are independent. Financial, I don't think we are, because you people, you give us money. When the budget comes to you, you are the people who think about it and allocate what you think we need. So basically, those 2 aspects, we are independent, but when it comes to financial, we are not. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I have a follow-up. And the follow-up is that, can you reference any provisions in addition to this one that guarantees and fortifies the judicial independence?
Yes, the Constitution says that when cases come to you, as much as possible, you have to be independent in what you do. You don't have to listen to anybody when you are judging your cases. So as much as that, we are independent. We don't have any interferences, no. You work on that is what you have to do. Our allegiance is to the Constitution and not to any human being or any other authority. Thank you.
Yes, I'll proceed to give the floor to Honorable Awuah Bafo. Please, you have the floor. Equally, 1 question.
Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I want to confirm a report that captures the nominee, and then I will ask my substantive question if you agree. Sir, on the 30th of September 2021, Major Online reported a statement made by you whilst president of the Association of Judges and Magistrates. To ask my substantive question.
Honourable Member, do you have a copy of the report? You have to take a cue from your leader. Your leader will always bring a copy, and then we show the nominee what you are referring to.
Sure, my lady, but Mr. Chairman, do you mind if
electronic copy?
It's an electronic copy.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. It states as follows: it is sad that judges in Ghana will have to fight every year for their legitimate allowances to be paid. It is sad that the leadership of the association has to personally trek to the Ministry of Finance, Controller and Accountant General's Department. We have to fall on friends at the seat of government to push for such allowances to be paid, he said on Wednesday. Please, do you confirm making the statement?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Now, in view of this, how is judicial independence compromised? Does this affect judicial independence?
No, Mr. Chairman. This is just simply about lobbying. Lobbying, which everybody does, if you want something. Thank you.
Now, presidency also comes to lobby you. A friend of yours who you lobbied for your allowances to be paid also comes to lobby you in respect of a case before you, what will you do about it?
One good turn deserves another. Isn't it?
One good turn, they say, deserves another. What will you do about it?
Mr. Chairman, as judges, we base our decisions on the evidence and the facts, not on friendship. So if I are falling on somebody to press something, not for me, but for the association, I was talking for the association, and that person appears before any court, not necessarily my court, the decision will be based on the facts and the evidence, not because...
On the issue of whether or not you are independent, you stated clearly that regarding financials, it looks as if you are not. Very
Yes,
well.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations, nominee. My question is, would you recommend suppression of investigative journalism to protect the dignity of the judiciary?
Yes, honorable nominee.
Can I get the question again, please?
Very well. Can you repeat the question?
Okay, very well. My question is, would you recommend suppression of investigative journalism to protect the dignity of the judiciary? As expose, in fact, it's been reported by TV3 News. This is online. You are reported to have said that the expose, in quotes, tainted the dignity and value of the judiciary. It is also reported that you said, quote, that the expose should have been blocked so that
What you gonna do?
At Amazon, we're using paper bags for more of our deliveries. Just one of the ways we've reduced the weight of our packaging by more than 40%.
When you look in the mirror, you see this old school cowboy. Why did Sonny Hayes come back to F1?
I never should have pulled you into this.
3 laps. 3 laps is a lifetime.
I'm not very sure. Why would I recommend suppression? No, I wouldn't. One is fair, fine. But I don't remember the first statement you made because those are not my words.
Thank you very much. Yes, honorable member.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have
Any
a follow-up
further
question.
question?
How would you balance protecting the reputation of
Yes, honorable nominee.
We can't gag the press. So far as they do a good job and they don't misinform or disinform, we don't have any authority to gag them. The only guidelines are make sure your reportage is the truth. The press can come to report our cases or come to do anything with the judiciary. We are not sacrosanct. They can come and do that. We don't have the power to stop them, but just make sure that what you are reporting or your reportage is the truth. Ask. Don't report on perceptions. Please, Mr. Chairman, don't forget the judiciary is different from the judicial service. But a lot of people mix these things up. Things happening in the judicial service are attributed to the judiciary. We are two different arms, but working together. Thank you.
Yes, any further question? Very well. Thank you.
You are entitled to 3 questions. It's different from the constitutional legal. No, you are a bona fide member of the committee.
Very well. Then I have other questions for you, my lord.
Honourable members, regarding Anthony Imie, I never said you are entitled to one question.
I am very grateful.
That is
Mr.
why
Chairman.
I am asking you, do you have any further questions? And you said, no, you don't have a further question. So if you have
Two
a
more.
further question,
I have two more.
just proceed to ask.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Now, nominee Yao Opong, who is Justice of the Court of Appeal and an authority on constitutional law, has suggested that it was unconstitutional when the Jamefe Commission released a white paper prior to the release of the full report covering, it's reported in My Joy Online. Prior to the release of a full paper, yes, a full paper on the 2015 World Cup inquiry. Now, my question is, paper prior to the release of a full report is a violation of the 1992 Constitution.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had the commission. We wrote our report and made recommendations and presented the recommendations to government. That was all we did. We never issued any paper, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, a follow-up
Any-
question.
A follow-up question on that.
Justify the violation of a constitutional provision.
Well, permit me to treat this as a full question, not a follow-up. So, Honourable Nominee, you have the floor.
Mr. Chairman, anything that violates the Constitution is illegal. Whatever it is, once it violates or flouts the Constitution, it's illegal. Thank you.
Yes, you are done. Thank you very much. I would proceed to give the floor to Honorable Bid Azidin. Honorable Bid Sidin. Awantanzuma. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'm happy that you have corrected yourself in the pronunciation of my name. It has taken me to be a Frafra man. I'm a Dagat man. We don't start our names with A. Leader, why are you surprised? Anyway.
Please, your question.
My Lord, congratulations for the nomination. I think it's long overdue. You have been on the bench since 2010, 2000, and you have stayed there as a High Court judge until you were elevated to a Court of Appeal judge. You have been in this business long enough. Fortunately, you are not one of the judges that is coming from outside the judiciary. Yes, I'm just building something. So, my Lord, in your judgments and doing interpretation, what are some of the rules of the interpretation that you have applied as a judge? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable Nominee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Interpretation. The basic rule, the first rule is the literal meaning of the words. The literal meaning of the words. I wouldn't go into details. You read the words as they are. Then number two, if the words create an absurdity, then you go to the next step, which is the golden rule. You ask yourself, what does the law seek to achieve? Then you interpret it to achieve the purpose. Then the third is, what does the law seek to prevent? That is the mischief rule. Then you interpret it as such. Then you go further, we have one we call the use them generis, things of the same kind. So you know how to do there. And then there is one that tells you how you use words around a word to interpret that word. So these are some of the rules of interpretation we follow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Bid Zedin, Ranking Member, Judiciary.
Thank you
You
very
have
much.
a further question?
I have no follow-up question, but I want to go to my second question.
Very well, please do.
I just want to say that His Lordship's answer represents, I believe, a most excellent education on the rules of interpretation. Maybe TikTok will just take a bit of it and spread so that law students will benefit from this.
Thank you.
Innovation would you bring on board to improve justice delivery in this country?
Mr. Chairman. Yeah, let me finish.
Has been asked and answered. The question has been asked and answered by another person. The previous questioner has asked a similar question, and my Lord has provided answers to the question.
Very well.
Wait, Honorable Bid. You know, the question you asked, which Chairman says that has been already asked, the language, the same words, phrases, are you all coming from the same source of tutorials?
Nobody, don't answer that. Nobody has been giving tutorial in these matters. So please proceed to ask if you have another question.
Mr. Chairman, indeed, there's nothing wrong with that.
Further question?
Yes. Mr. Chairman, I only want to congratulate my Lord again, because fortunately for me, I appeared before him whilst he was High Court judge at Swedro, and I saw that he was a very fair-minded judge.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, Honorable John Darko.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Coming from the interpretation aspect, Mr. Nominee, if you read Article 66(2), it says that a person shall not be elected to hold office as President of Ghana for more than 2 terms. Do you think that this provision is subject to interpretation?
Mr. Chairman,
Honorable Nominee.
The honorable member quoted from the Constitution, and that's what the Constitution says. So I can't have anything against what is in the Constitution. Thank you.
Yes, a follow-up question on the interpretation of Article 66.
Mr. Nominee, so if somebody says that a president is the answer to that person.
Honorable Chairman.
En 3 phases, CD+ Sleep Complete aide à l'endormissement, favorise le sommeil et contribue à un réveil reposé. Nouveau, CD+ Sleep Complete, le trio gagnant pour une nuit complete.
My Lordship, congratulations.
Thank you.
I want to go into your rulings and opinions in your previous judgment. And it has to do with your position of the law regarding property owned by couples in divorce or death. What is your position? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our Constitution guarantees that every citizen can have property on his own or her own, and then in association with others. So I'll first go to on death. When a spouse dies, PNDC law 111 comes in to take care of those who are alive. Then when it comes to a will, if a spouse dies intestate, that's he hasn't written a will, then like I said earlier, PNDC law 111 comes in. If there's a will, we go according to the will. But then, if no reasonable allocations are made to the surviving spouse, the court will interfere, will go into the will and give something reasonable to the surviving spouse. Then what
do you mean intervention or interfere? Do you mean the court would intervene? Sorry.
When it comes to wills, we are not supposed to. Is it the word interfere or intervention?
What I'm asking is, do you mean the court intervening or you mean interfere? You said the court will interfere. I'm asking whether you mean intervene.
I will still use the word interfere because when it comes to wills, we are not supposed to. We interpret as much as the person making it wants it to. And so, Mr. Chairman, to continue, when it comes to divorce, if the property is jointly acquired, both parties have reasonable access to that property. And that's how the court looks at it. But then, a new decision now goes to say that if we must look at all cases on their merits. Recently, Ajay says that, well, it's not automatic. You look at the circumstances. For example, if the property is jointly acquired, fine. But if it's not jointly acquired, maybe I took a loan for it as in Ajay, the court will not regard it as jointly acquired property. So the sharing will be different. But on the whole, when there's divorce, the court will make sure that a reasonable or equitable size of the property is given to the divorced spouse. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further question? Thank you very much. Honorable Patrick Yaboma, the floor is now yours.
My Lord, my Lord, you've handled a lot of commercial cases. Some of us practice before you. And sometimes business interests do conflict with constitutional rights and other issues within our Constitution. For example, when foreign investment rules to always, or sometimes, let me use for want of a better word, sometimes tend in favor of what some Ghanaians refer to as and local or domestic rules do clash, how do you manage that thin line to ensure that there is confidence from the investor community on our judiciary?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our judgments are always based on the evidence before us and the law. First of all, the ground norm, the Constitution, whatever it says is the law. Two, if you can't get it from there, you go to case law or statute, and you go according to what they say. As a judge, you have the discretion to interpret, but you don't go outside the premise of the law. Mr. Chairman, that's it.
Is any further question? Yes, if you have a follow-up, please do.
My Lord, most of the agreements that we ratify in Parliament do have some arbitration provisions in there, but you realize that some of these investors do rush straight to the foreign courts or tribunals without exhausting local remedies, and many time the AGs have to go to London or some of the international tribunals to have some of these decisions reversed before it comes back to you. How would you advise on some of these things as a judge?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When unilaterals and multilateral companies are involved, you look at the contract they have signed. If there's an arbitration clause in it, they have to explore that first before coming to court. So as a judge, you look at their, refer them back to it before they come to you. Thank you.
That's my second question. Yes. Very well. My Lord, in the past, you've called for the law school. You've called the law school to teach subjects like cybersecurity, intellectual property. Why is this so important, and how can we modernize our legal education without losing focus on fundamental legal principles? I know it's part of some of the issues that we've spoken about, having some of these specialized courses being taught at the law school.
Mr. Chairman, law is dynamic, and the life of the law is not left behind if you don't follow the trend. So now cyber security and things are now issues of the moment, and it's just prudent that students coming out as lawyers are taught these things. So that is the reason. I don't remember if I got the question well that I suggested. I don't remember that, but even if I did, that is the reason behind it. We must be abreast with times, otherwise we are left behind. Thank you.
My Lord, this is my last question. Since you never walk alone, on your CV, you were chairman of the Koforidua Circuit Tribunal from 1996 to 2000. And Ghanaians recall the work of public tribunals, because once you are invited there, it means Wahala don't come. A lot, and I know it's part of our constitution, public tribunals. Would you advocate for the setting up of public tribunals again to speed up or assist with the justice delivery program. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I like the way you put it. That's exactly what I would do. But unfortunately, it's a wrong perception. People are more relaxed when they appear before the tribunals because, you know, the panel is three. Two ordinary people and the judge, who is a lawyer. They are more...
But you say that is your last question. Very well.
My Lord is enjoying the question. So relax, Chairman. My Lord, don't you think Justice Senor Jamefe sitting with two ordinary Ghanaians on a public tribunal will bully them with his law, Chairman, and direct them as to how to take certain decisions, especially when they are not legal practitioners or professionals in that vein? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's unfortunate we think... Say, Mr. Chairman, I said once somewhere that law is 20%, wisdom is 80%. Don't underrate every case they know, and you can't bully them. Thank you.
Don't look at what's in front of you.
Let's go.
Chair, if I have your permission, I just want to refer to the Constitution, Article 1461, that states that misbehavior or incompetence or on ground of inability to perform the functions of his office arising from infirmity of body or mind. My question: about 3 acts or omissions that for you would constitute stated misbehavior, and 3 acts or omissions that you think would not constitute stated misbehavior. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if
yes, my lord, we realize that there is a pending matter on that issue before the courts. So you are sitting in your capacity as a nominee being vetted. You are not sitting here in a capacity as a Supreme Court judge. So I am inclined to humbly overrule the question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman, with respect, the nominee hasn't made a specific reference to a particular case for, and the questioner hasn't made reference to a specific case. I believe that if I understood you right, you are more or less relying on a sub judice principle to rule the question out of order. I humbly submit that to the extent that the nominee is here to express views on the Constitution and public policy matters, you allow him to answer. If we now box ourselves into this situation, then I'm afraid we may not be doing justice to the responsibility imposed on us by the Constitution this morning. He has not referred to a particular matter. And like I argued recently on the floor, the sub judice rule cannot be applied in absolute terms, that there is a matter related somewhere, so Parliament cannot move. He referred to the Constitution and said, what is your view? give us 3 instances. That is not related to whatever matter you are referring to. In any event, you haven't shared with us the matter that you think, if the question is answered, it will create a problem for same. So I respectfully submit that you permit it.
Honorable members, we all know the matter, even if not expressly stated. He is a Supreme Court nominee. Aspect and at the Supreme Court, you may be called upon to preside over it. So, honorable members, it is not proper that we solicit the opinion of a Supreme Court nominee before us on the question being asked. With all due respect, the question is overruled. I will give the floor to the member to ask another question.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, before asking the question, I just want to make reference to this. It's, with all due deference to you, it has nothing whatsoever for me to do with a pending matter that has to do with the Chief Justice, which you are making reference. If you look at even the paraphrase, it goes on to say that removal of justices of superior courts and chairmen of regional tribunal. So, respectfully, it has nothing whatsoever to do with the stance you are taking now. Because I have asked that, what would constitute? Is going in as misbehavior.
Honorable member, you know the rules. After the ruling of the chairman or the speaker, we don't argue that. Please ask another question.
Very well. Just for purposes of record. My Lord, respectfully, would you consider Superior Court judges to have all, when they are supposed to have, as government appointees, they are supposed to file every indication of properties they have. And they do what we call the declaration of assets. Consider for judges of the Supreme Court or judges as a whole to also have, as in file their declaration of assets. And if yes, respectfully, why? And if no, why not? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Honorable nominee, please proceed to answer the question.
Mr. Chairman, as the Honorable said, if that is the law, that all, why not? They have to declare their assets. Thank you.
So is it the case that you have filed your assets declaration?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Very well. Honorable Chair, whether we are considering technological impact on constitutional requirements. So it has to do with when acting for the president who is absent and vice president, but not when the vice president is acting alone. In an era of instant global communication, does this distinction remain constitutionally necessary? That should the absence from the Republic be redefined, and when the vice president is also not in town, we have the speaker, and we are asking, so against this technological advancement.
So, Honorable Jerry Shai, what exactly is your question?
President, Vice President, the Speaker, what would be your position? Do we have the Chief Justice acting?
Yes, Honorable Nominee.
From my long experience on the bench and from my own wisdom, I scarcely give views and opinions on issues because the view or opinion I'll give carries so much weight. I'm a judge. Who knows whether tomorrow this same issue will come before me? And then I'm expected to go by what I said. Meanwhile, the facts may not be on all fours. So as much as possible, I don't give views and opinions on things, on topical issues like this. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any
My
other
Lord,
question?
Just a follow-up. My Lord, is it to say that when there are issues of general knowledge and you are being requested to make a statement on, you will decline doing so just because whenever you make such, it carries weight, so it would mean something else?
No, Mr. Chairman. Currently, there's a situation on hand. Currently, there is somebody acting. So whatever I may say
was specific, sorry. I made reference to technological advance.
Honorable Member, you are entitled to a follow-up question. You have
Yes,
asked
I'm
the
just trying to
follow-up
make,
question.
because
You have asked the follow-up question. Yes, Minority Leader.
Chairman, I want to help to situate the question correctly. My Lord, the gravamen of his question was to the effect that there's clarity on, in the absence of the President, Vice President acts. In the absence of the Vice President, the Speaker acts. And in fact, that has received judicial blessing, where the Speaker would even have to take the presidential oath. What he's asking is that in the absence of all these three, so for instance, recently, Mr. President was out of the jurisdiction on an ECOWAS assignment. Madam Vice President, Her Excellency, was on medical leave. Mr. Speaker was also on an official assignment outside of the jurisdiction where there was this constitutional lacuna. What he wants to know is whether in the situation like what I've mentioned, the Chief Justice would have to act or take the presidential oath as acting president. That's the point he wanted to put across.
Amazon offers employees across Europe up to €8,000 for education and career growth, providing you with valuable skills.
Ressens la légèreté de ta vie. Tamaris.
substantive Chief Justice, but we have an acting Chief Justice. I don't think the law says that the acting Chief Justice should take an oath. Thank you.
So you're in that instance, the Chief Justice will have to take the presidential oath as acting president, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, your last question.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. My Lord, respectfully, government recently has engaged in a deportation policy of foreigners who have been found to be illegally mining. And my question to you is that, does this violate Article 17 of the Equality Before the Law? And can citizenship status justify different legal treatment for identical criminal conduct?
Mr. Chairman, as to what the law says. So if the law says that a foreigner has committed a crime and after conviction and sentence, they are to be deported, why not? Thank you.
Yes, a follow-up. But in these instances, there's no conviction and sentencing. But the fact that they have been arrested,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Say why they were deported. I think it was an executive or decision, so I cannot say why. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The leader. Of government business.
The nominee. You've been around for a while. I remember of our Supreme Court, how many judges we should have. A political legal issue. And even this morning, when you sat there, you were greeted. Ask, as a member of parliament representing a constituency at the furthest end of the country, that is Boku, is entitled to litigate his case up to the Supreme Court by way of right to appeal up to the Supreme Court, depending on where he started. If I'm a citizen of Boku and I start my matter either in Boku or at the High Court in Bolga, I must always to justice at the Supreme Court. Have you thought about the need for a northern bench? Just as you now have a Court of Appeal in Kumasi, and I think you had even started and Cape Coast. Have you thought about the need for northern bench of the Supreme Court so that the people of the North do not always have to travel to Accra when they seek justice in the Supreme Court?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and the High Courts. So I don't see anything wrong if there's a branch there.
So, to really be fair, maybe we should consider having a branch up north of the same, a policy like that, even though you are not in a position to take that decision, but you are not opposed to a policy like that. That's what I gather from your response. As at now, what is the size in terms of the number of the judges in the Supreme Court? Do you recall? I won't hold you to it, but do you recall how many we have now? If you take out the 7 nominees that we have before us.
13, I guess, 13.
You have 13. In 2024, the Chief Justice wrote a letter to the President recommending that the average size of the court should be 20. The letter was made public, I think, by Asase Radio, so I'm sure a lot of people had the opportunity to see the letter. Asase Radio made the letter public. I have the report here, media report, in which Asase Radio has shared details of the letter requesting the appointment of the 5 judges. And then the letter included a detailed analysis justifying the need for these appointments. So beyond my argument about a northern bench of the court, so that people in the north can have access to the U.S. I don't know if you saw the letter or at least read the media reportage and discussion of the letter. Because I want to take you through the details. I don't know if you saw the letter or you read the media reports. Just let me know that so that I can know what information to put out when doing the analysis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I haven't cited the letter, but I heard a bit of it on social media.
Well, yeah, the Chief Justice argued, and I don't know if you agree with this argument. Just 3 arguments. And then I would end it there. One Chief Justice says that, they have to write opinions, they have to hold conferences, and if you have less than 20 judges, it definitely affects the administration of justice at the level of the Supreme Court. Do you agree with that?
Mr. Chairman, I haven't cited the letter you are referring to, and I don't know the reasons given, but from what I heard from you, delays, and that the judges are overburdened because of the case limit onto the number of Supreme Court judges. It's not capped. I keep saying that the law is always evolving. Maybe there's a reason. So far as the Constitution doesn't cap the number of judges, I am for it. Thank you.
The second argument that the Chief Justice makes is that Chief Justice in the letter indicated that in actual fact, in the US, they have 50 Supreme Courts in the states, plus the 1 federal Supreme Court. And so you can't compare the Ghanaian situation where we have 1 Supreme Court versus the US that has 50 Supreme Courts at the at the state level joining the federal Supreme Court. Do you subscribe to that argument of the Chief Justice?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. See, in the states, every state has its Supreme Court. That is the state Supreme Courts. And then there
are 50 of them.
Yes, and then the Central Federal Court. And even on that, it's only constitutional and federal issues that go to the Federal Supreme Court. And then on top of that, they have the discretion to choose. Unlike here, they have the discretion to say that it's only on 6 cases we sit in the year. So they are not overburdened like we have here. So if the argument of in that letter you says that due to delays and the caseload, number of judges be increased, fine, I support it. But I guess that the flexibility is there for the evolving nature of the system, which there must be justification for every additional judge. Thank you.
Yeah, the CJ, in making a case for a minimum of 20 judges at the Supreme Court, indicated, for instance, and gave statistics that in 2018, 2019, in the U.S., the Federal Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court, the cases filed numbered 6,442. 6,000.
In 3 fases helpt CD Plus Sleep Complete bij het inslapen, slaap te bevorderen en uitgerust te ontwaken. Nieuw CD Plus Sleep Complete. Het winnende trio voor een complete nacht.
But our Supreme Court, disposes, on the average, disposes of about 400 cases in a year. Judges really do well.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I will say that they do very well. Our Supreme Court here has 3 main jurisdictions. Original, it's loaded and is virtually becoming a daily court. So I buy the argument that they are overloaded and therefore there is a need to increase the numbers.
So in general, you agree with the argument that indeed we need to have more Supreme Court judges so that we can have cases expedited and people's right to have access to the Supreme Court vindicated.
Mr. Chairman, yes, I agree.
The last one, which is generally about the rule of law. The rule of law. You know that investor confidence is also moved by the extent to which a country has the rule of law entrenched. Economic performance is also based on levels of investments in your country. So there is a direct relationship between the rule of law, having access to justice, expedited justice, and economic development. There's a direct relationship, since rule of law is one key indicator that encourages foreign investments into the country. So do you say that if we have more judges and cases are held expeditious?
Mr. Chairman, that is true, because if within a short period your issues are resolved, why not? You have confidence in the system. But if it takes too much time, then you lose trust in the system. So I will always agree with you that the faster the cases go, the better for the investor community. And then there's trust in the system. And therefore, if the small numbers are going to delay cases, why not? Why don't you increase the numbers so that but that doesn't open the floodgate that you keep. Thank you.
But is it not inevitable that we're going to have more numbers because we are creating districts and each district is demanding a court, and we are creating new regions and each region is demanding, a court, High Court, and we are, graduating many lawyers into the system, and many more people are going to have access to justice, and the lawyers are going to be appealing. Is it not inevitable that the caseload is definitely going to increase? In which case, the right to appeal, and therefore the number of cases that will end in the Supreme Court, will also increase whether you like